Alright GameLeapers, what's going on? This is Coach Cheeks, and this is a bit of an emergency, mate, because yesterday we made a video talking about top laners getting changed in 13-13. Guess what? The balance team have actually decided the top laners are not going to get changed next patch. They are pushing this back to a later date. So what is actually getting changed in 13-13? Well, in today's video, we are going to get into those changes, and there are 10 champions and 1 item that are getting changed, buff, nerf, whatever you want to call it, in 13-13, and we have all the details for you right here. So stick around for the whole video, guys. But again, 13-13, when this comes around, do you really think in that patch you're going to climb like a tier or 2 tiers or reach your dream rank or unhard suck yourself? The answer is no, right? You're still going to be in that same rank. So how do you actually get out of it? By improving. And how do you do that? Signing up to the GameLeap website at GameLeap.com. Link down below in the description and comment section. Our challenger players and coaches have coached people to the highest ranks in the world in every single region. And guess what? Those videos are not talking about items and builds and runes and all these things that don't really matter too much. Like, as long as you play the game properly and the role properly, you have a great chance of hitting higher reloads. And of course, we will teach you all the champion micro you will need. So for all the micro and macro knowledge you need at a challenger level, check out the website, link down below. And let's get into the changes. So like I said, top laners, guys, are getting reverted. And not only that, but we also have Ghost, the summoner spell, getting reverted as well. So this should be music to your ears if you're a top laner, maybe like Fiora, Olaf, Darius, who like going Ghost. If you're an AD carry who likes going Ghost, you guys should be very happy about this. Now, speaking of AD carries, guys, the first champion we're going to talk about is Aphelios, who is getting nerfed. Now, one of the big reasons for this is because Aphelios is so prolific in pro play. He's picked and banned a lot at the moment, and for Aphelios in 13-13, the nerfs are as follows. The slow you have on your Gravitum auto attack, the duration is going down a second. I don't actually think this is too bad. Lots of Aphelios players like to spam this, like as soon as they land an auto attack, they just use their Q and the root, obviously. But I actually think reducing the slow gives them less time. Like 3.5 seconds is an age. And while you are auto attacked with Gravitum on top of you, if you're the enemy champions, it's really annoying to play around, right? Because it's such a long period of time. So this getting reduced, I didn't really think it changes anything, to be honest. I think it's pretty placebo. But yeah, you give up a little bit of pressure, I guess, during laning phase. Now, Severum is also getting nerfed as well. So not only is the attack, the actual healing, this is giving back to you, this is getting reduced at all stages of the game, as is the healing from the ability itself. So during the laning phase, you're getting less lifesteal, right? During the late game, you won't be healing up as much as well. Maybe this will impact your ultimate as well. So if you use your Severum ultimate, you're not going to lifesteal back as much. So it will be interesting here to see how Aphelios will be affected. I don't think these nerfs are the biggest in the world. They are certainly nerfs, but I don't think it's going to stop Aphelios from being Aphelios. And Aphelios mains, let me know in the comment section what you think. Now, moving on, guys, we have Annie moving into the mid lane here. So your Q's base damage is getting reduced by 10 at each rank, and the AP ratio in your Q as well is going down. Now, your Q, the base damage, what does this mean? This means for laning phase and last hitting minions and stuff. This makes it a little bit more difficult, right, to actually like win trades, I guess, and of course last hit minions and all these things. Pretty obvious nerf here. The AP ratio nerf simply means the more AP you get into a game, just affects your scaling, right? So once you start getting Ludens and you start getting Shadow Flame and Death Cap and all these items, right, your Q is going to be dealing less damage. I think this is much needed. I think this champion is so overtuned. You can be 0-5, 0-10, you can do a Yasuo, you can still one-shot people. Kind of a ridiculous champion, and I'm happy they nerfed her like this. Maybe Tibbers might need some adjusting as well. But yeah, for starters, these are good anti-nerfs. Her win rates are just off chops for a champion who is just so easy to play, and yeah, you can run it down and still be really useful. Now, next up, we have Ivern. So in the jungle, your W's on hit base damage, this is getting reduced, and also your W's on hit AP ratio is getting reduced as well. But to be honest, is this the really big thing that's keeping Ivern broken? I mean, I guess it is potentially with like Lichbane, and you've got Nash's builds out there as well. Like that is actually like a setup you can run, and it doesn't really nerf like support Ivern too much. I mean, I think Daisy is probably the big reason why this champion is so broken, because she's unkillable and deals so much damage as well. Pretty obnoxious to play against, but these nerfs are certainly going to see a bit of a drop in win rate as far as Ivern goes, not only in the jungle, but even if you're playing some sort of like support variant Ivern. Now moving on, we're staying in the jungle here, guys, for the next 2 champions, and the first of these is Kindred, who is one of the most oppressive champions at the moment, and I don't know why they are nerfing her, bro. The big reason why Kindred is OP is because of Trinity Force. Before Trinity Force, this champion wasn't really like, I mean, she was still good, right? Don't get me wrong, but she wasn't 55% win rate in high reloads. She's 55% win rate simply because of Trinity Force. Look at any of the other builds, they're nowhere near as good. So I don't know why they're actually nerfing the champion herself, because they're eventually going to nerf Trinity Force. Like, trust me, they will nerf that item, but they could just nerf it for ranged champions. So Kindred, so Zeri can't actually abuse it. Even Draven, right? There are so many champions abusing it now, so I don't really understand these nerfs, but the nerfs are as follows. Base armor going down by 3. Base health going down by 30. Huge early game nerfs. This is going to be massive. This means that you're not going to be able to snowball as much in the early game. You're squishier as well against attack damage champions. I actually like that as well, to be honest, like the base armor going down, but not by 3. Give it like 1 or maybe 2. 3 for some reason in my head just sounds like a lot, but because you've got such an advantage over melee champions as a kiting champion and someone who can create space easily with their Q, I think it's actually like a good nerf, but the base health going down, I don't really understand this. But again, why are they not nerfing Trinity Force, bro? I mean, I guess the answer is it's the Riot Games balance team. And by the way, guys, I've also just realized that there are only 9 champions here, not 10. So sorry for going full O's mode on you. But yeah, Lee Sin is the second jungler, guys, getting changed in 13-13. And these might be the biggest changes in the actual patch that we know of thus far. So your Q1 and Q2's base damage is increasing. Both parts of it. So both of these are going up by 10. This means you're going to be having an extra 20 damage with like a Q1 and Q2 in the early game. That is insane for Lee. More kills in the early game, better clear speed. It's just going to be huge. All of you blind monks out there, if you can find your keyboards, let us know in the comment section just how hyped you are to play Lee Sin again when he's so broken. Now Q1 and Q2, guess what? That's not all. The bonus AD ratio is also increasing by 5%. Think about what we talked about for Annie, her AP ratio going down. This means that for Lee Sin, your AD ratio going up. The more items you get and the more AD you get from items, the more damage your Q is going to deal. So maybe this even brings back some sort of like lethality Lee Sin with the AD you can build. It might be really scary and oppressive. I honestly think he'll be picked and banned in pro play because of these. It's kind of disgusting, but hey, these are the buffs, and I don't really mind it because Lee Sin does take a bit of skill to play rather than some other champions at the moment who are super broken, just like Annie. Now, moving into the mid lane, guys, the last mid laner to talk about, this is Nico. And I kind of called this in one of our recent videos, like Annie, Nico. Nico has to be nerfed. And the nerf is as follows. Your ultimate now breaks disguise after half a second. I like, bro, what are they smoking, bro? Like, how is this a nerf? Your R now breaks disguise after half a second? Is that really that? Is that why Nico's OP? Like, does anyone think, oh, if only she broke disguise a little bit earlier? And that's a level 6, by the way. Like, the Q damage during the laning phase, even the ultimate with the extra AP ratio they put in this a few patches ago. Bro, like 55% win rates and higher reloads, and an S+ tier champion, the #1 in the game, according to most stats websites. Come on now, like, they can't be serious. There has to be someone on the balance team mating this champion, and I kind of pity them because they're probably still like Hearthstone Gold 4 or something. But hey, that's the Nico nerf, guys, for 13-13. Leave a like on the video if it makes you mad. Now, moving on, we have Rek'Sai, guys, and these last 3 champions are all junglers as well. So lots of junglers getting hit. So the first of these last 3 is Rek'Sai. Your base attack damage is going down by 3. Your base health is going down by 40. Massive early game nerf as well. Honestly, like, I think this champion is so broken because, well, I don't think these nerfs are too bad, but as an early game champion, like, I think that's where her strength probably should be. But as an early game champion, I don't really have an issue with her being OP early game, but I think because she's so good early game, maybe you just turn down her late game. So there's a massive, like, kind of drop off if you don't play this champion optimally and play her really well. But hey, that's just my opinion. But those are the nerfs, guys, for Rek'Sai and 13-13. Early game, just like Kindred, and getting hit where I think it's a bit too OP. Now, next champion getting nerfed, this is Vi, who hasn't actually really seen nerfs because she's still like kind of picked and not really banned that much in pro play, but yeah, she is still seeing quite a lot, right? But yeah, she is still seeing quite a lot. So for Vi, your passive shield is getting reduced from 13% max HP to 10%. So the actual shield you get based on max HP, this is going down. And your ultimates are cooldown. This will probably affect builds with like Radiant Virtue and stuff. And your ultimates cooldown, this is increasing by 20 seconds at rank 1 down to 10 seconds. So it'll be 15 seconds at level 11, 10 seconds though at rank 3, level 16. So for Vi, your passive going down, this just affects your scaling right, so your shield you'll get in the late game, and it will still mean something in the early to mid game, of course it will. And your ultimate's cooldown increasing, I completely agree with this. Like, to have a point and click ultimate, you just press R on someone and that's pretty much it. It's pretty annoying to play against, and because you'll be getting cooldown through your items, like this can be really low, especially if you go like Lucid Boots and all that stuff. I kind of agree with these nerfs for Vi, and I still think you're maintaining your power. Just got to be a little bit more aware of your ultimate cooldown when you hit level 6 and onwards. Now, the last champion here, guys, getting nerfed in 13-13, the last jungler, you can play him in the top lane. This is Wukong. And for Wukong, it's just like Vi, right? They've been picked in pro play for like the entire season, I swear. So the Wukong nerf, your ease monster damage is going down by 20%. This means your clear speed. This means getting through the jungle, of course, so you're going to be a little bit later now. But apparently Riot actually missed like a compensation buff where the base attack speed for Wukong is going up. So they're nerfing the E monster damage, and remember, this is giving you attack speed. So buffing his base attack speed, well, that also like helps him for top lane. So it's a nice like kind of lane buff to Wukong, and in the jungle he will be worse off because of the monster damage, but hey, at least you're getting more attack speed through the actual base stat. So those were the nerfs, guys, for the champions in 13-13. The last thing to talk about here, and this could be the most important one, like patch defining thing, is that Static Shiver's getting nerfed. Can you remember in our recent like videos how I've been talking about static shift like on LeBlanc and stuff, and you can even go this on Kai'Sa and other champions, right? Zeri, it's pretty good on. Well, guess what? The AP ratio is getting reduced by almost half. So it's going from 50% down to 30%. And also the minion AP ratio is getting completely wiped. Even though it says here it's still nerfed to 85%, this is actually just totally gone now. So if you were one of those LeBlanc players playing static shift, I'm really sorry. Like, that's pretty much it for you. Now you're going to have to go back to playing no wave clear LeBlanc, so apologies for that. I didn't really mind static shift as well. It made the game interesting for a little bit, which I'm all for. And yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think of this in the comment section below. So let us know what your thoughts are, and let us know what your thoughts are on the champion changes as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching our 13-13 changes video. Please leave a like down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future season 13 uploads. This has been Code Cheeks. Peace.